Welcome to our podcast, No Point,
where we talk about everything, anything, and nothing all at the same time. It's pretty impressive.
How you doing, Francis? Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, little buddy.
Don't call me your little... Don't touch me.
I'm trying to assert my dominance by pat... Did you know studies show if you pat somebody on the head, they will be your minion?
Well, because I feel more uncomfortable about the whole social situation. I don't want to do the podcast anymore.
Just go up to somebody and touch them on their head.
You're gonna need to find a new co-host, Francis. Don't touch me on your head.
Okay.
Don't touch me on my head. No, stop it. Okay, guys, if you are listening to our podcast right now on Apple Music or Spotify, just an FYI, we are also have a video version of this podcast that some people are watching right now on our YouTube channel, Broskies Studio.
Where was it last week?
Well,
you're a sham.
I'm sorry, it was
Imagine saying that you will post the video podcast on YouTube and then, what are we, 3-4 weeks in and already screwing it up?
Well,
you sham.
They should be grateful we're back.
I'm on the people's side. That way I don't get stabbed.
I like that you're on the people's side. They have no
They're
idea.
gonna hate you.
They have no idea that you're not siding with me.
Classic.
They won't see it coming when you stab them in the back. Oh, I'm sorry.
Shh.
Wait, we can't talk about that.
Good.
Did you just thumbs up? I don't like that. Moral of the story, Francis. I have a story that I want to tell people.
I have a story I want to tell you.
Okay.
No, you go first. I didn't have a real story.
Well, I wanted to talk about the time that you got broken up with.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I know. Once I said that, I knew what was going to be your reaction, because you probably don't want to talk about this sad, hard time.
No, what?
Do you want to cry?
No, what?
Do you want to step off real quick, and we'll cut the audio?
I'm confused. What is happening?
If you guys are new to our podcast, the funniest part is Francis never knows what we're going to talk about before we sit at this table. That being said, Francis, there was a girl that, for the sake of this podcast, we're going to call Brittany.
Okay.
Okay, you want to...
Yeah, I don't know the story. It never happened. So
she broke up with you with a phone call. He knows the story. If you're watching this on the video podcast right now, audio, his mouth dropped.
This doesn't count.
My brother's mouth dropped when he put together what I was talking about.
This doesn't count.
His mouth was
Stop
open.
It. This doesn't count.
A fly could have went in his mouth. A fly could have went in his mouth.
Stop this.
This could have been the one.
You're using clickbait. You're using clickbait.
She could have been the one. She left Francis.
But she's not. She's getting married now.
I know, I heard about that.
Yeah, she's getting married.
Are you sad that she's getting married?
No!
Does that make you feel old?
No!
Someone you dated's getting married?
No, they have their life together
and one of your best friends is getting married. 2 of your best friends are getting married.
Who's my second?
Brian and Jake. Yeah, Francis, all your friends are getting married and getting wives, and you're sitting here with your brother talking about a girlfriend that broke up with you in high school.
Well, little do they know. Little does everybody know. I have a minion.
Don't
let me touch your head.
Stop touching me. It's weird.
I've lost
audio. He touches me a lot. I don't know why. This is some stuff you're missing if you don't watch it on our YouTube channel, Broskies Studios. But we love you, audio listeners. Make sure you leave a 5-star review of our podcast on Apple Music.
Why is this a story?
Well, because it's a funny story.
I know you have this little note.
It's a funny story.
You have this little note thing on your phone.
In my Apple
think of
notes.
a random story, and then you write it down, and then you use it, and you rely on the audience enjoying my
I like
anger
to go for the shock factor.
Yeah,
I like to get you going, and I think this is a story that will get you going because I have questions about it all these years later.
I would like to start out with, and this is my worst quality about me. You might have thought you knew my worst quality, but nay, this is my worst quality. I've never been broken up with.
Brissette number one.
We say this. We coined this phrase.
Brissette number one, except for that one guy that broke up with our mom once.
That's so true. That's another podcast.
We always forget about him.
But besides that,
Brissette number one. No Brissette. Not a single Brissette has ever been dumped.
Yes, but it's not because
except some.
There was some borderline.
There's some mutual splitting. There's some mutual going of separate ways.
You have to be dating for it to count. That's my only thing. There's
some questions.
We're making this as big as possible because if this ever goes to court, we have to say, well, we did say there were some questions.
There's some, and it was only on even numbered days.
Yeah, that's another. So
And that one guy, we're gonna call him
But
Randy.
statistically, I have always said
Brissette's number one.
Brissette's number one.
Yeah.
I've never broken up with him. Technically, this one girl does have the right to say...
Technically, she broke up with you.
I'm gonna
Brissette's
tell
number two. Brissette's number
I'm gonna tell the story, and then you tell me if Brissette's are number one or number two. Okay, first of all, why do you remember this? But
because it was one of my favorite nights of all time.
I hate you so much. Can we talk about anything else? Do you have any other story?
I have no other
Do you
story.
have any other
Legitimately,
story? Think of another
I was about to announce that the podcast is gonna have to end. I'm out of stories.
Fine. I guess I'll tell you this one because I don't wanna.
Oh, are you? Where are you gonna start, buddy? Buddy, where are you gonna start?
It all started in high school.
Oh, wow. All the way back then.
Yeah, it started in high school, and this is okay.
And you're still hung up over this?
I'm not hung up at all.
You dated her in high school, and you're breaking up her now?
You're adding a lot of flair.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna think they're gonna think that you're in love with this.
You're gonna think this is the one, but it wasn't. She's
was.
getting married.
She is.
Congratulations.
Francis will try to stop the wedding. He's planning on
What a good YouTube video.
He's planning
If
on
you guys
objecting.
want that for a YouTube video, let me know. We will film me interrupting this wedding and be like, technically, Brissette's number one.
Technically.
I'll try to redate her and then break up with her Brissette's number one.
So make her break up the wedding, just to ultimately make her
and Brissette's
break up with her.
She deserves it after this story. No, she doesn't.
No, she seems pretty nice.
So anyway, it started in high school, and like high schools, we went to an all-boys school.
Yes, we did.
We've established
we went to an
this.
We went to an all-boys preparatory academy.
Yes. So we established this in a few other podcasts, but if you don't know, you're caught up. We went to an all-boys school. We were in theater. Teeter.
You were in theater?
No, I say
I
teeter.
bet you were
I
bullied.
say it was...
I bet you were bullied.
No, ironically, there was really no bullying.
There wasn't. I talked about this once on
stream. There's a number one argument, right? And it's like if you go to a school with none of the other gender, that the school usually runs better because males aren't trying to
I'm gonna be honest, from
women.
my experience, I would be willing to send my kid to an all-boys school because I really think it was a good environment.
No one that I knew of really got bullied. Nobody bullied anybody.
This was
like
super
no one was
awkward though, because on our Twitch stream the other day, where we Twitch stream every single day except Wednesdays and Sundays 2 to 4, right? On our Twitch stream, I was like, yeah, they make it look like wedgies were gonna be a big old problem. I've never seen anybody actually get a wedgie, and some girl in our Twitch chat or guy, I don't know, said that they got a wedgie, and then I felt awkward about it.
But would you not agree that in middle school it was more drama than in high school?
Oh, I agree. There was more like my 8th grade. It was every other.
That's counting just school. Now, I was in theater. I like to say that rather than theater because it's harder to bully.
It's cooler.
Yeah, it's cooler. Yeah, theater.
Yeah, because Cardi was like, hey, what's theater?
What's theater?
What's theater? You can't ask what theater is. But once you knew, then you'd start the bullying.
Exactly. So I did theater after school. And obviously, since we went to an all-boys school, the number one question is, did you guys have to play girl parts? Sometimes. But we also had a policy where any girl from any school could...
Stupid policy. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Could audition for the shows and be in the show.
Any female that wanted to be in theater could come to our school, which was really awkward because they all had schools.
Yeah, they had schools that had theater programs,
and they just came to ours.
Yeah, I mean, so boys wise, it was always Hendrick and kids, and then
girl wise, it was all over. It was all over. There was this one girl who we're calling Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany. Anyway. So Brittany was in the theater program. So that, and I think that also has something to do with why it was so bad, because like we saw girls after school.
Yeah, it wasn't like we had no contact.
But ironically,
with females.
Ironically, that's where the most drama happened.
Oh, absolutely.
In the theater program, there was a lot of drama.
Would you believe that in the theater there was a lot of drama?
What is that accent?
Well, I don't know. I was trying to
apologize.
Apologize. No,
I don't know who you offended, but somebody is. Whatever.
Talk about Brittany.
Anyway, so there was this girl, Brittany, and I really liked her at the time. Like I thought
she break up her wedding.
I thought she
enough to break up her wedding.
Enough to make a YouTube video out of it. Let me tell you that. I liked her. Like she was great. We had similar interests. She was great. She was great. She was funny. She was great. Now I have an issue where I think I like the chase, or I like the getting to the dating point more than I like to date.
So you're just an awful person.
No, I'm not.
Frank, you're just
that's
an awful.
a real thing.
You're
people
just
have.
Francis is an
Stop.
awful person.
No, people think this. People do.
No, I know many people that they will like go for a girl like that's their goal, getting the girl, and they get the girl and they get bored. It's a real.
And
problem.
I blame movies. Because they never show the hard stuff after getting the girl.
Oh no, absolutely.
The movie ends as soon as they kiss for the first time.
Especially Hallmark movies. It's always Christmas.
It's always good. But like,
there's this part of me for a while, Francis, that truly believed that the only way to find love is to go to a small town and accidentally walk into a coffee shop and fall in love with the girl that owns it.
You're a sad, sad man.
Well, I blame Hallmark. There is a class action lawsuit pending.
even in like just like Disney shows and everything like that, it was always about getting the girl. Then once they had the girl, it was over.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's just where it all stems from, I think. So anyway, so we started talking, and again, all my project. Have you seen Sweet Life of Zach and Cody on Deck? I know it's a stupid version, but I needed to say it for
I've seen.
If you haven't seen the show, great show. Go watch it. It's on somewhere.
It's Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, but this time they're on deck.
Yeah, they're on a ship, and Cody, obviously the
nerd. He's the nerd twin.
He has a 6-month plan.
Oh, I do know this with Bailey. This is a weird thing about our podcast.
I've loved that, right? Like, like obviously it's not 6 months.
You got to scheme.
Yeah, but I love the aspect of like having a starting point and little things you're gonna do to eventually date them, right? And you have a plan.
It's legitimate. No, it's a game. It's a game.
No, it's not a game.
You have a game.
The way
and you're winning it.
The way Sweet Life on Deck presented it. No one called it a game.
It seemed sweet.
It seemed sweet. It was nice. I liked it. But turns out it looks like a game from the outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, I had this plan, and we started dating a little ahead of schedule. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
But
that just means you didn't play the game plan right.
In relationships, JB, I know that you didn't really get dragged down from this, and I truly believe that it was because I was always doing it, that you were like trying to date and flirt, that you just were like, I got other things to do. Like, he looks bad doing it.
This seems like a backhanded compliment. It's like every time, I got better things to do.
Yeah, like,
it seems like
but like you weren't would we not agree? Like, things on the table. I flirted way more in high school than your high school career. Like, girls were a bigger priority to me. Than you.
Yeah. Well, now it sounds like not that there's anything wrong with it, but now it sounds like you're calling me gay.
No. If anything, sexist. You didn't prioritize women.
Oh, my bad. Just making it clear, guys. The way he's phrasing this makes me a little uncomfortable.
No.
But no. I agree. I didn't.
You didn't really. It wasn't a main priority.
Here's a good example, and it's one of my favorite things.
Sure.
I turned down roughly 14 to 16, depending on how you say, dances opportunities. There were people asked me to go to dances, and I said no.
But before he prefaced this as you know, JP just being this player who's turning down women, he didn't look like this in high school. He bloomed, but it wasn't in high school. It was like end of senior year into like freshman of college. You started looking like a stud. Okay?
What did I look like before
you were
that?
a little nerdy.
I don't like how you're phrasing this podcast. Let's not talk about this subject anymore. You got anything else in your phone notebook?
No.
Anything?
You're the one that
This
comes
is
up
it.
with the story.
Talk about Brittany.
This is it. We're back to Brittany.
Where's Brittany?
I love that we've tried to jump on this story twice. I wonder if this even gets posted.
Oh, no. Guys, you might wonder, where's the podcast? I don't know. We're canceled. Not coming back for season 2.
But anyway, Brittany. Thought Brittany was great. We had this thing. We texted. We're both, I would consider, hidden talent of me and JP, we're both excellent texters.
Oh, I'm a fantastic texter.
I gave us both a compliment and you had to double down on it.
Well, I feel close enough now just to say, I'm not going to say anything other than the fact that we have a friend named Scro who games with us a lot. Terrible texter. And that's all I have to let
we're very good texters. But, so anyway, I'm a good texter. Which I think in high school is how you get the most relationships.
What that means is you're not like, hey, I can type fast. No, what that means is you can keep a conversation going over text.
You're funny enough for
a long period of time.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm a great texter. Finished a little ahead of schedule, and within like 2 months of me actually pursuing, I got the girl.
Thank you. Was I supposed to?
A little bit louder would help. Yeah. Woo. There we go. That sounded more like a boom. You're woo.
It was a woo. It was a woo,
Matt.
It was a woo.
Make another woo and boo sound.
Hey, good on you, bud.
There we go. But anyway, we started dating. Now,
congratulations.
Thank you. Dating in high school is the worst thing you'll ever do in life. Okay, it doesn't make sense, and I've known this, and I dated like 5 people in high school.
Oh, like 5 people, man. Wow.
I don't know, is that a high or low number?
Wow, Mr. Bragger.
No, I dated a lot of people in high school, and I can honestly say dating in high school is the biggest waste of time in the entire world. You were the smartest human being for not dating in high school.
I didn't date in high school.
Yeah, not because he was a loser. But
you have been saying a lot today. I do not want to get off this topic of Brittany. Oh, thank you. Back to what you
Distraction. Anyway, so
I'm easily flattered.
Yeah. So anyway, so we started dating, and I knew a lot of people. But high school's a waste, right? Because I couldn't even drive at the time. I swear to gosh, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna come up to this table and I'm gonna slave you to the table.
What a loser! You couldn't drive.
Anyway, I couldn't drive at the time. And a thing about and honest, I was from like I was used to dating in middle school before high school. And dating in middle school is you sit with each other at lunch. That's the good times. Wouldn't you say? Dating in middle school is the best. Dating in high school is a waste. Dating in middle... He hasn't dated now either. Dude, you're going to get there one day.
Not for lack of opportunity.
It sounds like
not because I'm not in... I don't know how to...
Anyway...
Let's talk about Brittany.
So dating in middle school
I just know, hold on, before we get started, I just know that I'm going to get a tweet at Broskies Studios, a DM, someone's going to hit me up, someone's going to say it in our Discord server, they're just going to be like, wow, JP, you were such a loser in high school. And I'm going to let you know, I'm going to see that. I'm going to see that message, and I'm going to ignore it. And you're going to be like, oh, maybe he just has a lot of deals. No, I saw it, and I put your name on a list.
On a list?
I got your name.
Okay, well, anyway, So,
Brittany.
Dating in middle school is great, right? Because you don't have to do anything. You just sit with each other at lunch. You get her a Valentine's Day card that's a little bit different than the rest you gave to the class.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you let her borrow your pencil. You held hands at recess. And you'd have an occasional marriage and divorce ceremony under a tree.
Why would you hold hands at recess? You gotta play tag.
Where else would I hold hands
Well, you can't play tag and hold hands.
And you would hug after school.
Oh.
That was your goodbye. Brittany, anyway. So in middle school it was great. Yeah. High school's terrible.
I'm
because
aware.
women have higher standards in high school.
The audacity of them as a whole species.
A relationship in middle school, and the reason why I keep harking on this is because I'm looking for a girl who's interested in a middle school relationship.
If anybody would like to have lunch with Francis Daly, please reach out.
And
our business email is...
As soon as the school bell ended, basically so did the relationship. I guarantee you 50% of marriages would not end in divorce if everybody had a middle school relationship.
You slept through dinner today, but we were talking about, did you know it's like 50% of marriages end in divorce?
I think it's
only like 10% of arranged marriages end in divorce. So,
yeah, but maybe there's also a lot of fear.
Maybe we'll set you up with someone.
No, I mean, as long as they're interested in a middle school relationship. But in a middle school relationship, as soon as the bell rang, That's relationship for that day.
Over.
You don't have to text her because you don't have enough minutes.
The only woman in your life is your mother.
Back in the day, the only woman
your mother gets you after school.
Like, I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry. And so it was great. But in high school, it was a reality check that girls apparently are still dating with you after the bell rings. Like, it's actually cruel. Audacity.
They expect far too much.
They do. They expect to go places. You people want to go places. Gross, right? I don't want to go anywhere.
Well, that was a genuine thing that I had. I didn't think that anyone should date until you can drive.
Yeah,
until
100%.
If your mom's taking you on the date, it's not a good date.
So anyway, we're dating, right? And obviously I'm great at the texting, and I'm great at the relationship, and I'm great at the listening and the talking.
You're excellent at sitting together at lunch.
I'm great at the movie aspect of it. And then she texted me, and she was like, so where are we going on our first date? I was like, well, didn't we eat in the cafeteria?
Can we just establish something? You can tell this wasn't going to be a good relationship with the fact that Francis took me along on his first date.
Well, we're getting there. So anyway, she goes, where are we going?
So if any ladies are willing to date Francis, no, I'll be there.
Well, not anymore. I can drive. But anyway,
I couldn't drive that either.
So anyway, I know.
Yeah, but you said that like I was your ride.
But anyway, I was like, she goes, where are we going for our first date? And I was like, well, didn't that one time we had like I ordered like DoorDash I ordered Domino's to the school and we ate in the cafeteria after school. Didn't that count as a first date? And she's like, no, your first date is you have to go somewhere, which is where the magic.
I would have accepted your offer. I would have Domino's.
Well,
Domino's
it happened.
pizza?
I considered that our first, second, and third date. She didn't even consider it one date. That's actually
this is where there's a disconnect between the genders.
So as soon as she said that, it was like the magic was over for me.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't know what to do because I couldn't drive anywhere. So I would literally have to ask somebody to give me a ride to go on the date, and then I also didn't have a job, so I couldn't pay for it.
You freeloader. You dirty.
So I was gonna have to have somebody to drive me, pay for it. All I do is sit there. And I couldn't do anything once we got there.
How'd you get the Domino's?
Huh?
Holes in the story. How'd you get the Domino's? I'm finding holes in the story.
Have you never heard of a pizza delivery
No,
man?
no.
I'm finding holes in his IQ!
That's not the problem.
What do you mean I get the Domino's?
You're like, well, I didn't have a job, so somebody else had to pay for it. How'd you get the Domino's?
Oh, because her sister's credit card is hooked up to the Domino's account.
Amen!
I ordered so many Domino's for an entire year because her sister's credit card was hooked up to that. And at college, I did the same thing.
The homies out. I don't know.
She was great. She never even questioned
her
it.
credit cards in my
She would have
account.
so many bills for Domino's, and she never questioned it. I hope she doesn't watch this podcast. Anyway, so I came up with this idea that I was like, okay, fine, I have to take her on a first date because this was still part of the movie because it didn't end. So I said, I thought about it, and I remember doing research on what to do. So I came up with the idea, I'll take her to a fancy Italian restaurant, and then we'll go mini golfing. That's my idea.
Do you have no recollection of this date?
Yeah, I know where we went.
Where'd you go?
Paparazzi.
Not mini golf.
No, we'll get to that too. I said we'll go to. Can I establish for a second?
No, I'm confused. Did you
we
think
go?
you went to mini golf with this woman?
No,
I know for a fact.
Are you gonna let me finish?
Yeah. Continue.
I came up with the best date ever. A fancy Italian restaurant, which was just a chain restaurant in Garden City, and mini golf. So I pitched this to her, and I said, our first date? Oh yes, of course I thought about it. We are going to go to a fancy Italian restaurant, and then mini golfing.
Have you ever heard of Olive Garden?
And she said, and I quote, I hate mini golfing.
Well, it was also the middle of the winter, Francis.
Well,
which is why I thought you were delusional. There's Monster Mini Golf. No one counts Monster Mini
Golf. If you want a sponsorship, hit me up.
Any Monster Mini Golf, we're here to talk about you.
So anyway, I decided, and I said, well, what do you want to do? And she said, I really like horror movies.
You do not like horror movies.
You know that, JP.
Yeah,
we should date.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh,
Sweet home Alabama.
Do you have any other thing we could talk about besides
Brittany, bring it back.
So
bring
anyway,
it back.
She goes,
got
I want to
so
watch horror
sidetracked
movies.
today.
And as soon as she said horror movies, my heart sank again. Because I hate horror.
Can I be honest with? For me, there's things like that I could be like. I could like be like, oh my gosh, I really, really like this girl. Like this girl, like I really like this girl.
But
and then they say that one thing, and it's
horror movies for me. And I've dated so many girls that like horror movies, and every time, and I truly believe that ruined the relationship.
Oh, 100% horror movies. Horror movies is
because the
terrible
thing about
genre.
Girl, yeah, the thing about a girl is like they're like I love horror movies because they have the idea that they're gonna like cuddle you in your arms, and we're scared. I need somebody to cuddle. I get so scared, and they're not gonna like. I don't want to. I have nightmares, right? You know this, and I tell people about this, and they think I'm joking.
You have teased in season 1 to talk about how Care Bears gave you nightmares
from Care Bears, so I can't go to a horror movie. But every girl tries to say, "Well, don't worry, you can hold me and go to Care Bears." It's like I have a little bit of masculinity. Can you please let me not?
More of the story, deal breaker,
horror movies. So anyway, I say, okay, forget it. We'll just do the Italian restaurant. And she goes, okay. Now you might be all thinking about the same problem that I have. How do I pick her up?
Are you still forgetting a crucial part of this date?
I'm really only the only thing that's stuck in my head is the Italian.
Do you not remember the ice skating?
Oh, I remember the ice skating. I remember the ice skating, but it was kind of lame. I remember it was, like there wasn't much that happened. Anyway, so we went with ice skating as well. The Italian restaurant. The ice skating was fine. I'm very good at ice skating. JP's really bad. But anyway,
I'm learning.
You're doing.
I'm learning.
It sounds sad. So anyway, I had to come down with the thing of how to get a ride.
Yep.
I couldn't ask my mom.
No.
Because that's what losers do. So I
look that camera right in the eye and say that again.
That's what losers do. So I couldn't ask my mom. So I went with the way cooler thing. I asked my sister. Okay? My sister said no. She said no because she didn't want to have to take me places and be my chauffeur. Yeah. And
I would have said no too. Just like you know.
Here's my counter offer. You can come. She's a savage for immediately saying, I have another request. And I said, what? And she goes, I'll be bored if I go alone. And I go, okay. She goes, let me take JP. And for some reason,
I wasn't opposed to it.
My head said, deal. So, because I
in your head, you're like, oh, this is going to be a better date. JP's there.
So I had my sister and my brother coming on this high school day. And you're 4 years younger than me. So you're not even in high school
I
yet.
was in 8th grade.
You're in 8th grade. I'm older. So basically, she comes and she's like there, and then I didn't really mention to her
that we were all no. Why would you?
Surprise! So she comes, she gets in the car, and we're in the back seat, obviously, because the two front.
Yeah, because Kat's in the front.
Yeah, with her date.
Brittany's in the. No, I was in the front seat.
I'm in the front seat. So it's us in the back.
The two of us are in the back.
So she's whispering, and she's like, oh, like. That's cool. I didn't know your sister was coming. I was like, yeah, we share a car. And by that I mean
it's her car.
It's her car. And I sometimes.
But let's not get stuck into details.
In the moment we are sharing that car.
Technically it's our family's car. Yeah.
So I look at her and I was like,
the date's not really the important part. The way she broke up with you. Because
so we have a date. It's a very weird date. It didn't go great. She made walrus teeth out of paparazzi breadsticks.
I liked that part.
Which
I
liked
that part.
And then they tried to take pictures with it. For some reason, that's also a deal breaker for me. I don't know why. As soon as I see the girl I'm into look like a walrus, I lose like 20% attraction.
That boosted it for me.
You're into different things than I am.
I'm into walrus.
And big teeth, I guess. I don't know. The date went terribly. I told her that basically they were gonna go do something else, and I kept that lie going. Yeah. As they're sitting in the restaurant and going ice skating with us.
Pretty good food. I think we split
the food was good. Anyway, that was our first and only actual date.
But Francis, I thought you guys dated for months.
So the date went terrible, and I think sheer embarrassment and loss of interest, as a boy who knows how to talk about his feelings, did the only thing he thought was normal. Kind of ghost her.
No, you ghosted her. There's no other way to put it. You ghosted the girl.
I didn't go to school with her, so it was easier.
Yeah. So, hey, podcast listeners, if it makes you feel any better, it was pretty easy for Francis. Really, not even a mild inconvenience.
So, well, she didn't text me either. And I didn't text her, so I just assumed that we both had a mutual agreement that the date was the worst date ever, and we should never talk about it again. Turns out that was not the mutual agreement. So anyway, it's 4 months later. It's been a good 4 months, right? Our entire family has forgot about Brittany. Okay, she's afterthought. Like I've never even thought about it again. I've never even thought about it again. Like I've never asked to go to date. Like
except right now when you brought this up.
You brought it up. Anyway. I'm sitting on the floor doing homework.
Mm-hmm.
Phone rings.
Don't know what to do.
Phone rings, don't know what to do.
Don't know what to do.
No one calls me. This is the 21st century.
The audacity to even think
the audacity to think they can call me. So I look at the phone thinking it's probably a bill collector.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm
Who is it?
I look at the phone. Brittany, her contact was
Brittany
different.
from the date?
Or Brittany.
Brittany from the date?
I changed her contact to Walrus. Because on the car ride home, that seemed funny. But I never did it. But anyway, Brittany calls. And, you know, everybody
she says,
goes,
it's Brittany.
Who is this? Like, who's calling you, for instance, at this hour of the night? It's only 8, but in our family, that's bedtime. Because that could be another podcast, but we had the same bedtime.
Yes, we did.
For a very long time.
Yes, we did.
And in high school, I had a bedtime.
Yeah.
And JP,
I didn't.
No, JP, I had 15 minutes later than JP, and I thought I was so big and old because I could stay up 15 minutes later than JP, and he knew it got to me. He knew it got to me, so he'd just stay up for those 15 minutes, and as soon as I got up, he'd go, "Hi, buddy," and then he'd go, "Time for bed." So it didn't even matter.
I will never let you get those extra 15 minutes.
But anyway, that's besides the point.
She calls you.
Called. I go downstairs. I'm still doing my homework, and my homework assignment was to study a comic book. Well, study a book that I enjoyed, and
you went
basically
with,
write
you
about
went with not like a superhero.
No,
comic book.
it was
like
Calvin and
It was
Hobbes.
Calvin and Hobbes. Like it's a joke.
It's
comic
a joke book, comic book, and again, I start everything late, and I'm 15 minutes before bedtime.
Yeah.
JP's already going to bed.
I'm on my way up.
So I get the call, and I answer, and I go, "Hello?" And she goes, "Hi," and she's crying. She's crying.
Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Just
I'm thinking
Band-Aid
something's
off.
wrong. I'm thinking something's wrong.
You think something's wrong with her?
Yeah, like I'm thinking maybe she's hurt, maybe she's injured. How am I the emergency contact?
Why would she call you?
Why am I the emergency contact?
Bit bold of you to assume you're an emergency
she's like,
contact.
I know. She's crying like she's doing. I'm like, what's up? What's going on? And she's like, I just want you to know that these have been some of the best months of my life. And I was like, well, this is just calling to flex.
Yeah. Well, what do I have to do with any of this?
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, is everything okay? And she goes, yeah, everything's fine. No, don't worry. And so at that point, I just go back to reading the comic book because I have the assignment. Nothing's wrong. So she's literally like starts saying weird things like I just want you to know that like we're always gonna be friends and that you matter so much to me and like other weird like BuzzFeed sentences that are just clipped into tears. I completely stopped listening because I don't get it and I don't know what's happening and I think she's writing a Hallmark card mid thing and I'm trying to do my homework so I read it and then I start laughing because one of the jokes does it and she goes, is something happening? And I was like, oh no, keep doing whatever you're doing. And she's like,
I don't mean to interrupt. Yeah.
I go, keep doing whatever you're doing, and she's like, I'll get to the point. We need to break up.
Oh no, you must have been devastated.
I said, what was that? And she goes, I think we need to break up. And then I start laughing again because I'm so confused that we were dating this long. And so she goes, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, it's just getting to me. I'm sorry. I was like, yeah. Hey, thanks for this. I gotta go do homework. I gotta go. And she goes, okay. She hangs up. And then JP goes, what was that about? I go, Brittany just broke up with me. And he goes, y'all were still dating?
I didn't know.
And I go,
there was never a second date. I would have been there.
I go, I didn't think so. And so we broke up 5 months after not talking to her. That means for 5 months, I've been dating her.
Here's the kicker, though.
Yeah.
It was on April Fool's Day.
It was on April Fool's Day.
So to this day, I have wondered if this was an April Fool's joke or not. But until recently, when we had a conversation with somebody else who told us,
oh my god,
that
this is the funniest thing ever.
You want to take it?
I was at another friend's house at the time who happens to be a girl. I preface that because they know the girl drama and they know the girl thing. And Brittany went on to have successful relationships.
Heard she's getting married.
But Brittany dated other people in the program after me. I know, apparently. I wasn't. But she dated one guy and it was for a long time. Anyway, she broke up with him eventually. And they go, I was like, yeah. They were like, you were super popular in high school. And I was like, yeah. And they go, like every girl like wanted to date you. And I'm like, that always made no sense to me because I'm Francis. Like I'm not anything special. And she goes, well, it's because Brittany always told everybody how you were the best boyfriend ever. And I said, the what? And she goes, she would tell everybody that you were like the out of all her boyfriends she dated in high school
imagine
and everywhere, you were the best one.
I just imagine this is a cruel joke she had to convince
Yeah,
somebody else
to fall for it. Like, I still think that might be it. I was like, Walrus said this, and she goes, what? And I said, I mean, Brittany? Brittany said this? And she goes, yeah.
Yeah, apparently
She
you
told
were
everybody.
incredible.
Apparently that's what, and I go, this is fascinating.
To think
and
about
I
the
told
fact...
JP, and I said, JP, I ghosted her for 5 months. And she goes, yeah, so apparently to get a girl to think you're awesome, just don't do anything wrong. The standard is so low for men.
How is it not possible to succeed? Well, now I imagine, I just want to meet the person they're going to get married to.
So I like
to imagine, friends, the person they're getting married to, they haven't talked in 6 months. 8 months.
It's so toxic. Totally my fault. I thought we were broken up with. The how nice she was to actually call and put a storybook ending to our relationship.
And she gets a podcast episode. What a treat.
But like
wrapped it up as a bow.
Yeah, that was insane to me. Because technically the only girl I consider ever to have broken up with me was her, but I thought I broke up with her by ghosting her.
Percent number one.
So it's a weird line I'm in because I thought ghosting was a breakup, but technically she made it official. So technically she broke up with me, but I broke up with her. And so technically that's why I was confused when you're like, some girl that broke up with you. And I don't know if it counts, but also I hope this guy you're marrying treats you better than I did. Because I shouldn't be the best. Also, how bad were the others? You must have like beat her up.
Okay, boys and girls, that is this story for the podcast.
I
But don't
sound
forget,
terrible. We have a lot of post this podcast.
Yeah, the podcast completely scrapped, boys and girls. You will never see.
Are you trying to look at my camera?
No, I'm not.
I'll look at yours.
This podcast will never see the light of the day. All right, guys. Before we go, we have a few updates and information. First of all, if you guys didn't know, we have this program called Mug Mafia, where you can go to www.broskistudios.com/mugmafia and support the podcast by getting your very own Broski Studios and No Point podcast mug that we send to you with a personalized letter and gift from Francesmo 10 and a special role in our Discord server.
Back.
We also are on all social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, under Broski Studios, and then individually as Francesmo 10 and Chippy Bree. That would be the world to us if you check those out. Also, if you're listening to this on Apple Music or Spotify, make sure to subscribe or follow so you get updates each and every single time we post a
Or more
podcast
importantly
episode.
for this episode, don't unsubscribe and follow. This was one time. I don't ghost people anymore. It happened once. I didn't know how to talk to women that well, and she had walrus teeth for a little bit.
I forgive you.
She put sticks in her mouth.
We also have this video version of the podcast you just listened to on our YouTube channel, Broskies Studios, where we post each and every single podcast, except last week's. So if you guys want to come to our YouTube channel and watch the video version of the podcast, we're here for you, and we love to have our YouTube audience. Also, tell a friend about the podcast. You tell a friend, then you tell a friend, then you tell a friend, then everybody knows about our podcast, and that's the moral of the story.
Absolutely.
We always give a code word so we know you listened all the way through, Francis. What's the code word for today's podcast?
I couldn't even think of one.
No? You can't think of one? You can't think of one?
Nope.
Alright, so I guess we do not have a code word for this podcast.
You couldn't have think of one?
Oh, well, you rats, you put a lot of pressure on me.
You put a lot of pressure on me.
Fine. Let's get back to Brittany, okay? That's today's code word. We said it a lot. I'm sorry.
I would say crasher wedding, but you know what? Whatever.
All right, or crasher wedding. All right, boys and girls. It's been a pleasure.
YouTube video.
Welcome to our podcast, Broskies. Welcome to our podcast. Thank you for coming to our podcast. No Point. We've loved to have you. See you next time. Don't pet me on my head.
Minion.